I just thought it was a terrific college basketball game. Texas Tech is obviously one of the elite programs in the country right now. Coach Beard and his time there has, there's been turnarounds in many programs throughout college basketball where he's in Texas Tech at a point where they were good, but for him to do what he's done in his time is short of really unbelievable. He deserves all the credit that he gets for being one of the elite coaches in the country. They got a terrific team, but I'm really proud of the way our kids competed against them today for 40 minutes. Things didn't always go exactly how we wanted to, but we showed the type of resiliency and competitive spirit that will give us a chance to continue to get better.
Caleb and JL both talked about identity. Now that this team is driving into the paint a little bit more, not taking as many three-point shots, how do you think they're doing with finding their identity?
Those two guys in particular?
Just the team in general.
I think I mentioned this in the deal the other day. If you told me that a weakness of this team was going to be shooting coming into the season, I would have probably laughed. We've got a lot of guys who have a reputation as good shooters, and for whatever reason, I don't know if it's a line or maybe we don't have great flow from there. We haven't shot the ball very well from three-point line this year. We have two of the top 5 returning three-point shooters in the conference, and Thomas and Lindy. And you would think adding a guy who's got a reputation, Chris Harris, Jonathan Lawrence shot 47% from 3 last year. Cam showed the ability to make him that. All right, this team's going to be able to make shots, and it just hasn't manifested itself. Our job as a staff is to find ways to still have success. And we've done it through our defense and rebounded and trying to get to the free throw line a little bit more and driving the ball to the basket. You got to give credit to those players for making the adjustment, though. It doesn't work if they try to fight it. They're completely bought into what we're trying to accomplish and believe that we can continue to have success moving forward if we keep playing that way.
How do you think the presence of the 1995 Final Four team affected them today?
I thought our crowd in general was terrific. It's one of the things that I'm most excited about leading this program. There's a real sense of pride in following this program and seeing it get back to where it's consistently successful. None of that's more evident than what we saw today. I don't know how many people were there, but it felt like a really, really good crowd for a team that's 2-9 in conference play, 500 this late in the year. Probably not a whole lot of public thought that we could really finish the season strong. So, there's a lot of reasons not to come to today's game. It's 12 o'clock on a Saturday. People from Oklahoma City are outside. They got to drive and get up early and make plans. But that they care so much is the reason I get up every day and bring everything I can to the table. The 95 team in particular gives me something to continue to reach back to for our current players and say, this is what the standard is for Oklahoma State basketball. Mr. Iba established it in the early times of our program. And set the ultimate bar, right, winning national championships. And then one of his former players, Coach Sutton, comes back and immediately gets this program back to where it's nationally relevant. So we had a chance to meet with those guys yesterday, and the only thing we told them was 2 things. We thanked them for being a part of it, for coming back, but that we would play all of our games in a way that hopefully when they're watching us or if they're here, that they'll be proud that they once wore that same uniform. And I thought it was fitting that Coach Sutton was here to see both his sons, as a part of that game. And then obviously Sean, we were able to recognize him for his part in helping that team have success. So I'm really excited that they were able to see it, but that our players continue to believe in what our program was at one point and that we can continue to work to get back there at some point in the future.
The game in Lubbock, didn't go well. What do you think changed from then to today?
It wasn't the final score wasn't nearly as probably indicative of how the game. The final score is what it is, right? I'm not going to say it wasn't a blowout. It was. They won by 35 points, but it's a 4-point game. The second series of the half, and we weren't ready to handle runs. It's something we've talked about in here. Our team wasn't responding to adversity within a game the right way, and so a game can go from a 4-point game to 17 within like 2 minutes. because we don't know how to stop and say, all right, we need to get the ball here, or we need to make sure we're focused on the defensive end so that they don't go on a 14-0 run like they did there to get it from 4 to 17 in a short amount of time and not be able to overcome it. We're a team that's getting better. Our young guys are maturing. I think that's evident in several of their play. And at the end of the day, guys, I mean, I don't know any other way to say it, but Ice is getting healthy. I mean, that's a big part of this. If that was his second game back, he didn't have nearly the impact on that game as he did on this one. And we can't ignore that. I mean, that's a reality of what we had to deal with. It's unfortunate, but not an excuse. We need to keep getting better, but that's the reality of what happened for us.
11 of 14 shots to start that second half. Then shots are hard to come by. How do you feel like they handled that adversity?
Yeah, again, it's something that I want to say at some point about 3 weeks ago, and it may have been after we played at Iowa State heading into our SEC Challenge game. I think our guys made a decision that we're not going to look back on games and do the woulda, coulda, shoulda deal. Win or lose, man, we're going to know that we gave ourselves every chance we could. And since then, save the first half in Norman, I think our guys have played the game the right way and have dealt with adversity. It's just a process of growing and understanding what that looks like in a game. And what it does is, how does it manifest itself? You miss 2 straight threes, don't shoot the third and fourth one on the next 2 possessions. Find another way to attack the other team. If one guy, and this is what happened to Norman, makes 2 threes in a row, man, it got to 5 threes before the first media at their place. That can't happen. So that was probably the only time in the last 3 weeks that we haven't responded to something in the game and been able to make the adjustment. But, the credit goes to these players. These kids are playing with purpose. They're playing for each other. They're trying to go out on a positive note, and they're not looking back and having any regrets when the game's over.
A lot has been talked about coming into the season about Caleb's frame not being so big, but for him to get to the foul line 14 times in a competitive game. What does that just say about how he's been able to work at it and maneuver through, playing in the paint?
There's no question he has to get stronger. All right. I think that's pretty easy to determine, but he's a really good basketball player. There have been a lot of skinny guys have success playing this game. It's not like football. He's not trying to block somebody. He can catch a ball and finish around the basket. So I think too much can be made of it sometimes. For him, the whole key isn't his weight. It's just having consistency in practice. That's been the thing since the first day he was here. Can he prepare himself every day to play the game the right way? Can he show up with a good attitude, which for the most part he has, but in a way that he works hard enough that he's ready to handle what's going to come his way in the game? He's probably had his best 2 weeks of practice consistently that he's had since he's been here. And the numbers bear that out in games. He's playing with confidence, obviously. He's being able to finish around the basket. And, today he made his free throws, which is a big plus for us.
JL, both you guys talked early in the season about him kind of trying to find his fit and his role in his team. In these last couple of weeks, it looked like he's done that.
Yeah. It was perception is a lot of things, but sometimes it creates unnecessary pressure on people. So two years ago, we had a kid named Kendall Smith who came in for us as a grad transfer, had great success. He played big in all of our big games that we won. He was a big part of it. Everybody's path isn't going to be that way. The transition for Jonathan's taking a little bit longer. He also plays a position where we got other guys already kind of established, and so finding minutes for him early when he didn't know what we were doing was a bit more of a challenge. And now he's in a groove, and we're finding ways to use him around the basket. He's got a physical presence about him. He can drive the ball and finish. And he's playing with the confidence that we need. We need to keep getting better. I'm really proud of the way he handled it, though, because as a grad transfer, you're coming in thinking this thing is going to be a really, really positive experience. And for him not to get off to a good start, but show up every day with a good attitude, continue to work hard, listen to our coaches, believe in what we're doing, to get to this point where he is having success is what it's all about.
Was there an expectation that Caleb was going to have as big an impact on this game as he did, or was it kind of just feeding the hot hand there?
I don't know if we went into the game thinking that he was going to score 16. I wouldn't say that. But we do know that they don't have a ton of size. So when Holyfield picks up a couple fouls, and we already know we want to try to go inside, we ramp that up even more. So even when yours out or we can't go inside to him, well, we want to try to get the ball in the paint as much as possible. He's done a really good job of posting and sealing and finishing most of the time. And today, like I said, when they fouled him, he went to the line and for the most part made them. So I wouldn't say it was the plan, but I'm also not surprised based off of what I've seen from him in practice.
Not trying to be melodramatic or write a Disney-themed movie, but you've won 2 games since you got your first ejection as a coach. I mean, do you think it had any impact at all?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it, to be honest. This is the first time it's even been brought up that way. But I think I want to make sure that the players get the credit for what they've done on the court, right? That game was over. I think it kind of sent a message to them that I'll have their back. But they've been out there and played the game for each other and for the name on the front of their jersey in a way that makes us proud of, regardless of how the end result is. We're happy that we won the games for sure. But, if we don't lose again the rest of the year, right, then maybe I'll get ejected in our exhibition next year.
Caleb did get expressive about the 95 team. And that he even said, he goes, it was important today playing for something bigger than me. Playing for those guys and them being there. Yeah,
I mean, it's hard for young guys, right? Yeah, we don't have any guys who were even born. I mean, that would know it, right? Yeah. And so the reality is, we talk about those things, but then to be in those guys' presence, Keontae and Randy Rutherford spoke briefly to our team. Won't get into specifics, but to hear them talk about what it meant to them to wear the uniform, to know that people care about what they're doing, to hear those guys say, hey, we love you, we care about what you're doing, we have your back, gives them another sense of confidence that they can go out freely, and if they just play as hard as they can, give unbelievable effort, and obviously everybody wants to win, but that's where it's got to start. And if you can do that consistently and you have a good plan, you have a good process, then results will come. We always talk about it. We have to let the process dictate the results. We can't let the results dictate the process. I remember being asked a couple of weeks ago if I was concerned about our team morale or where our guys were. And I don't worry about that, not because I don't care. I have great kids who really care about the right things. I sleep not very much, but I sleep very peacefully, not worrying about guys not making good decisions or guys not caring about their teammates. So there's a sense of peace when you're coaching a good group of guys who want to work hard and do things the right way that I think speaks to what you're talking about. Those guys want to do right by that uniform.
Your reaction to Texas Tech honoring Eddie with those shirts?
I didn't know. No one told us that it was happening, so I guess we heard it when they came out for warm-ups. I go back to what I said in the beginning. Coach Beard is one of the best in the country because he's got great perspective, right? He respects the game of basketball. There's no question in any basketball coach's mind that Eddie Sutton is a Hall of Famer. And I'll be honest, they don't ever have to vote him in. I hope they do because I'm sure for validation purposes to end the conversation, it will be good. He's a Hall of Famer in every sense of the word as a coach and, deserves that recognition. But the people who know, like Chris Beard, the Texas Tech people, all the other coaches who come through here when he's in the building, everybody makes a beeline over there before the game starts because of what he's meant to the game of basketball and college basketball in particular. So for them to do that doesn't surprise me. Just, again, credit to Coach Beard for making sure that his team and program acknowledge greatness because that's what it is.
This is a bit about the 95 team, but you also had a couple of signees here that got a chance to watch this. Get this win over a ranked team with this atmosphere. How important is that for them to see that you're building something?
Yeah, it's all important. Those guys, those guys don't need me to tell them that. They obviously already believe in it, and they believe that they can be a big part of the next step. So I'm happy for both of those young men to be able to be here and celebrate with some of their future teammates. But it's about this group right now, and that we continue to get better or to give us an opportunity to maybe get another guy or two because we'll need to continue to. Again, it's about roster building out, and we're still in the early stages, although it's year 3 of getting this program back where it's stable for 5, 6, 7 years, same philosophy, guys understanding what their roles are, and then going out and playing on a consistent basis against some of the best basketball in the country.
important people from the program's history in the building today. Was this an important win for you personally? Is that something you even think about?
Nope, not once. This isn't about me at all. It is about those former players and coaches and managers, whoever were here as alumni, and it's about these current players. And in a lot of ways, it's about our fans way before it's about me because I don't know how long I'll get to do this. I hope I can do it forever until I can't coach anymore. But I'm just in place for a moment, right? Whatever that moment is, I don't know. Maybe 30 years. My son may play here one day. I don't know if he's good enough or not. Maybe he's just a ball boy or something. But it's about the people who put that uniform on and people who pay their money to come watch those kids play hard. And I'm just glad to be a part of it.
You guys had shot 38 free throws, only missed 7, and had 15 offensive rebounds. How big was that in being able to be in a position to win the game down the stretch?
Yeah, identity. Again, go back. We think we can be a three-point shooting team. How do we win? We go inside, we attack the paint, we get to the free throw line, and we did that at K-State the other day. I think we shot like 81% from the field, which means we were not shooting a bunch of threes, right, in the second half the other day. And today we kind of had the same game plan. And, if you can be something every day, then you have a chance to build some continuity in the way you succeed.
Coach, free throw shooting can sometimes feel like a unappreciated skill. How did you feel to have those players like the Caleb Boone and the JL be able to convert those foul shots when Texas Tech on the board was struggling a bit?
Yeah, I mean, free throws is always a kind of tricky deal, Man, if we go 19 for 38, then the question is, do you guys ever shoot free throws? And at the end of the day, it's a focus thing for me. We shoot free throws every single day in practice. And we have a bunch of guys who are good free throw shooters. We don't have anybody who's a bad free throw shooter. We just don't. Now, if they're not focused on the right things, if they're not going through their routine the right way, then it's something we need to address. But sometimes the ball doesn't go in the basket, and you don't have control over that. What you have control over is that you don't get discouraged by that. You keep playing the game the right way. You don't turn the ball over unnecessarily, and then you play as good a defense as you can because you do have control over that every single night.
Coach, during the last minute or two, you had another steal and then Caleb's block. So how proud were you of the defense in the final possessions?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I hope Coach Sutton was sitting over there maybe smirking about a little bit. I know he wasn't cheering today, right? He's got a son on the other bench too, but I know he cares. He put that uniform on one day too, and what Oklahoma State basketball has always been about at its core when we've been good is to have an identity of a tough defensive team. So to see us come up with stops when we need it and secure rebounds, I hope Haight made him proud, hope made Mr. Iber proud, hope made the 95 team proud, and all of our fans the same.
I don't know if we'll see you again before Tuesday, but is this new attack the basket something that can work against West Virginia?
I mean, we're not going to try to shoot 33s. We're not going to do that because we know that didn't work for us last time. I'll just say that. We only made one last time we played them, so we'll try something different.
Signal in here.
Why don't you guys get started with questions for John Laurent and Caleb Boone.
So on a night like, a day like today where you guys are, representing the 95 team, just what did the energy feel like out there for you guys?
It felt great. It felt great to go out there and play for something bigger than me. Like, that 95 team really painted the way for us. They started a tradition, and me and JL, the whole team was just like, today it's not about us. It's not about going to go beat them. It's really just to go out here and play for the 95 team, and that's what we did.
Definitely playing for the coach also, representing OSU the right way. We always, I just blank. I'm sorry. I just went blank real quick. We always try to represent the program the right way. And, we always try to play hard. But today, we just had a little bit more energy and juice because, we're playing for something bigger, way bigger than us.
How do you guys think getting dinner with that 95 team, spending some time with them, how do you think that affected your approach going into this game?
Just hearing the stories, it just gave us a little bit more of a connection with them. Not actually knowing any of them, but just knowing the history behind what they did. So I mean, I feel like that connected us a little bit more with them. But still, we would have came out and played just as hard and with the same amount of energy, even if we did have dinner with them or not. We just want to represent them and everybody else the correct way.
As shot significantly more free throws, had similar amount of foul totals though. As you ditched the three-pointer somewhat the last few games, how does that benefit you guys to be more inside oriented?
It's been really good. I mean, with the help from Coach Cunningham, Coach Coop, and Coach Boyden, and B-Ray and everybody helping us get our touch around the rim, right? It's just been good. It shows that we can really dominate and set the paint with the best of them. I mean, we did it against K-State tonight, and then TCU, Baylor. I mean, when it's basically just us playing to our identity. I mean, we're not the best three-point shooting team, but we can get to the paint and finish around the rim. We're really good at that.
I would say our shots are just not falling yet. That's all I'd say. But the past couple games, playing in the paint has definitely benefited us. Looking for our bigs in there. KB could score in there. They make things happen. Playmakers, getting paint touches. It always benefits us. Every time you shoot more free throws than the other team, that's always a positive. And every time you get more paint touches, that's always a positive. So, the more paint touches we also get, the easier looks you get from the three-point line. So, we're going to keep on driving until them shots start falling. And when they do, man, it's going to be a beautiful thing.
Is that tough for you as a guy who shoots three-pointers to kind of swallow the idea of do you go inside more?
Nah. I was a driver my whole life, so I had one good year shooting threes, and it's just right back to what I'm doing, man. I'm going to get the shot to fall. Don't worry.
You in the paint is something dummy. You got a weird pump fake, though.
It worked.
I know it do. I'll give you that.
You seen it again today. That was a M1.
And what do you think of the way Caleb's come on the last 3 games or so?
Man, I'll say it's about time, because all the coach always says, man, he's one of the guys in the room that has by far the most potential in the room, and it's a mindset for him, man. When he wants to play hard, he plays hard, but he has to come with that every single day, and well, as we see, he's starting to understand that, man, and he's bringing it to the games, and it's impacting us as a team, it's impacting him as a player.
It's a good time to ask this, Caleb. I remember talking to you and Keelan at Tulsa Memorial about your ability to play at that level and what you thought about the next level. Now that you've seen almost a full season or close to it at this level, what do you see ahead for you? I mean, how much better can you see you getting at this game?
I mean, I see the sky's the limit to me. That's what I think. I think anytime I go on the court, I'm the best player in my position out there. I don't try to be the best player on the court because that's not my role. My role is to be. My mindset is to think I'm the best player at my position. And in the future, me gaining weight obviously is a big factor, and that's really going to dictate my future here because. I mean, y'all see me. I went from a guy coming in at 170, 180. I'm 200 to almost 210, and today I played physical, I played big. So the more weight I gain, the more confidence I feel. So really, it's just me getting weight, putting in the extra work, and just getting more comfortable with my role.
Caleb, a lot has been talked about your frame coming in, but for you to shoot 14 free throws in a really competitive game, what does that do for your confidence moving forward, knowing that you can draw fouls against this level of competition?
It brings my confidence up a lot. I never thought I would shoot 14 free throws in one game.
12.
And I made 12 of them, and that's really a real shout out to Coach Cunningham because after every practice, me and him, we have a little shooting game that we do, and then we work on free throws because he tells me I could be a really good free throw shooter. At the beginning of the season, I told myself I want to be an 85% free throw shooter, and JL holds me accountable to that too. But Coach Cunningham, Coach Boyden always tells me when I get to the free throw line, be confident, do the same routine, and make sure I have balance. That's what Coach Cunningham has been really helping me with my balance on the free throw line and staying on the line and let the ball go in the hoop before I move.
JL, I know early in the season you were talking about how, getting comfortable being with this program, finding your role, and you look pretty comfortable in these last few games. How's that process been for you to get to this point where you are?
It's been definitely a difficult process in the beginning. Having success, early in my career, it's hard when you're on the court and you feel like you're not doing anything or you're not helping your team to win. But I come to practice every day, man. I come to work hard in the weight room. I thank Coach Boyan because he just breathes confidence into me every day. He speaks to me, he texts me, calls me, go into his office, and he always tells me, man, your time's coming. Just keep on doing what you're doing, keep on working. So it's been a rough process, but I'm glad to see that the success is starting to come.
You guys started off 0-8 in the conference. Now you've won 3 out of 4. As you were going through those struggles, was there anything through it that told you guys that you had this run, these last 4 games in you?
We started off the season 7-0, so we knew we had it. Like, we went to New York, destroyed the competition. So we knew what type of team we were. We just had to find the spark again and, start playing like we were at the beginning of the season.
And with that being said, at the beginning of the year, when we was 7-0, and then we went on a break, Coach Boyer told us, he said, at one point, there's teams that go up, there's teams that goes down, and there's teams that stay the same. And unfortunately, we was one of those teams that went down. But he always told us, like, confidence. I don't know how many times I heard somebody tell me Thomas, Cam's, and Lindy's freshman year, they went like 0 or something in conference, and then they went on like a 9-game win streak. So really, once that happened, we just always had faith and we always had confidence. At the end of the day, and then at one point we just said, I'm tired of leaving it up to like everybody else. We just gonna go get the dub, and that's what happened.
And also, Coach always preaches about finding an identity. I feel like at the beginning of the year, we started off as more of a 3-point shooting team, but these past 7-8 games, we've actually found our identity, and that's in the paint, man. Playing inside out is what we do well. So we're gonna keep on doing that, man. It's been working for us, and hopefully we start, knocking down shots, and good thing can happen.
First year, guys, is probably the liveliest GIA crowd you played in front of. How was the atmosphere for you guys?
I couldn't hear myself think at one point, y'all. That was crazy. That was out there.
Bro, when I was here for my recruitment, they played Kansas. Oh, that was so loud. But no, tonight it was loud and I loved it.
Yeah.
I love playing in this gym because really that crowd gives me energy. It fills me up. It makes me want to run hard. It makes me want to jump higher. It makes me want to sit down and guard the ball. Really, I can switch 1 through 5 though.
I'm gonna enjoy this experience right now, this crowd, because after this, who knows what's gonna happen. But I'm gonna enjoy my experience. I love the crowd, man. It was a great effort by them. Truly, the crowd is the 6th man. That's how I feel, and I feel like they came in big at the end when Clark missed both free throws. Probably rattled them a little bit, but definitely love the support.
Gotta ask you, what do you guys think of the uniforms?
These are unbelievable.
I always say, you look good, you play good. You don't get no better than this, man.
Yeah.
Right.
And who knows idea was to come up with this? They deserve a medal.
I don't know if they getting me back.
Yeah, I might have to go hang this up in my room.
Don't let Coach see that, though.
Yeah, that stays in here.
JL, you got fouled with 30 seconds left and the team was up 1. I saw you walk really all the way up to half court. What was going through your head at that time?
Just thinking of my routine, making sure that I line up the ball, just thinking of my routine of how I shoot, and making sure that I go up to the free throw line and do it.
Did you guys think Lindy had that dunk in him?
Yes. He really does it.
Don't let him fool you.
It makes me mad.
Yeah.
It's like Keelan. Like Keelan and Lindo don't ever try to dunk on people.
But they can jump.
Yeah.
Lindo,
Well, Lick can jump. Keelan, I don't know.
No, your brother can jump. Yeah, Lindy has a 40-inch vertical. He just don't like showing it off. So
I like how he hung on the rim for a second though. Really quick. Thank y'all.
Thank you.